Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. We are getting so close to reaching 5,000 subscribers, so if you can help me hit that mark, I'd really appreciate it. In our first story, a Choosing Beggar couple need a place to stay. Enter kind friend. How difficult can they be until eviction day? Let's jump right in. Now this story didn't happen to me, but to a friend of mine, but it was too good not to share. This happened a few months ago. My friend Juan, not his real name, lives alone in Florida with a roommate. They live in a small 2-bedroom house that they rent. One night someone started ringing their doorbell. When Juan went to the door, he found his ex-girlfriend Susan standing there with her boyfriend Rick, who happened to also be one of Juan's friends. The story they told him was that Susan and Rick were evicted from their place. More accurately, they were kicked out. The tires of Rick's truck had been sliced, they had no money for a hotel, so they asked if Juan would let them crash on his couch for the night. They would then figure things out in the morning. Juan is a really kind person who cares a lot for others. He has had some trauma in his past, and so he is conditioned to think that he should help people and try to make them happy. He let them stay the night. For some context, both Susan and Rick are the choosing beggars in this story. Susan had dated Juan for a few months. During that time, she and Juan met a guy who became their mutual friend, who Juan became a bit suspicious about. But Susan told Juan not to worry about it. A while later, Susan broke up with Juan, telling him that she couldn't stay with him because of his depression. After breaking up with Juan, Susan started to date this mutual friend, and it may not surprise you to find out that Susan had already been sleeping with this guy while she was still dating Juan. Rick isn't much better of a person himself. He started dating Susan after she broke up with the mutual friend. He knew that Susan had cheated on Juan, but I guess he didn't have a problem with that. Rick had been kicked out of his parents' place. They kicked him out because of his drug problem. Then he was staying in the shed on a property that belonged to the brother of one of his friends. It was close to his house. The brother had 3 rules for Rick to follow in order to stay there. First, he would have to pay rent. Rick had made it clear that he was planning on staying there for a few months at least. Second, Rick was not allowed to have any pets. The brother already had dogs of his own, and he didn't want any extra animals on his property. Third, Rick was not allowed to have anyone moving in with him. He even had to let the brother know any time he was planning on having someone spend the night, as again, the brother didn't want to have any trouble with having illegal tenants. Guess how many of the rules Rick broke? That's right, all 3. After 2 months, Rick refused to pay rent. Rick's logic was that he couldn't be legally forced to pay rent since technically he wasn't a tenant. Then, Rick attempted to bring in a dog of his own without telling his landlord. This didn't fly, and he was quickly forced to give the dog away as he couldn't keep it. Finally, Rick tried to have his girlfriend Susan live there with him. Again, he did this without letting the brother know. She had been living with her parents, but they gave her an ultimatum. She would no longer be allowed to stay with them if she kept dating Rick. So once the landlord brother found out, he started fuming and then immediately kicked them out. While it was true that he couldn't collect rent from Rick since he was not a legal tenant, it was also true that he could throw someone who wasn't a tenant off of his property. As for why the tires of Rick's truck were sliced, as I previously mentioned, Rick is a drug user and he somehow managed to piss off his dealer. Now to the juice of the story and what they did while staying at Juan's place. The first thing that happened, which was so obvious, was that the one-night stay to get back on their feet quickly transformed into a few weeks. They told Rick that they were looking for jobs and a place to stay, but in reality, they would spend each day using both Juan's and Juan's roommate's stuff, having sex on Juan's couch, and drinking and eating all of Juan's food. Whatever little money they did come up with, they would spend on booze, cigarettes, and condoms. One time, they made Juan late for work because they locked him in his room until they were finished with their morning sex session. Another time, they locked him out of his own home for basically the same reason. Again, Juan suffers from severe depression, and it is very hard for him to say no to people, so he just took all their crap. My friend Juan is legally allowed to consume weed. He has it for medicinal purposes. Juan is one of the many tragic people who realized they had eye problems when that was one of the medical conditions it helped treat, and it is helping his eyesight a great deal. Juan bought around $200 worth of weed, medical marijuana. Both Rick and Susan smoke weed, and they managed to smoke all of Juan's within a matter of days while Juan was at work. Juan didn't mind sharing since he firmly believes that everyone deserves good eyesight, so it took him a while to realize that they had smoked almost all of it. He finally made up his mind one night when Rick and Susan went out to a party that he would tell them that he was kicking them out if they didn't start to pay rent or at least start to buy some food for the house. When he was discussing this with his roommate, he found out that his roommate had just bought a really big jar of peanut butter, like those that they sell at Costco, the really large ones that would usually last for a few weeks. Somehow, both Susan and Rick had eaten all of it within a single day. Now, finally, they had crossed the line. Juan decided then and there that he would kick the both of them out. Juan is a kind and patient guy. Would he let them stay longer than they had agreed? Yes. Would he let them trap him in his room while they had sex? Yes. Would he let them smoke all his weed? Yes. But would he let them eat all of their peanut butter? I don't think so. Not today. Not today. So between Juan and his roommate, they packed all of Rick's and Susan's stuff into bags and threw it outside. They didn't want to be complete buttholes and let it get ruined by the rain, so they put it under a small roof outside of their place. Then they locked the door. Since the entitled couple didn't have keys to the house, they just left a note on the front door saying they were sick of their crap and they had left all their stuff outside. Of course, once the Choosing Beggars returned, they were furious and banged hard on the door, demanding to be let back in. Juan didn't budge and told them to flip off. When Rick calmed down, he asked to be let back inside so they could collect their stuff. Juan explained that just like the note says, all of the stuff was in bags outside. There was nothing of theirs left inside and he would not allow them back in. Susan and Rick kept trying to be let back in. They wanted to make sure that nothing was left of theirs inside, but Rick would not let them back in. Finally, they went away, though not before Rick gave some choice curses at Juan, calling him all sorts of nasty names. Yet, that is not the end of the story. Later that night, Juan decided to take a shower. Juan does have a roommate, but since Juan has a full bathroom attached to his room, he does what lots of us do and wanders around naked in his room when he leaves his shower. It isn't like he was going to flash someone, but he did actually flash someone. When he wandered au naturel into his room, Rick was quite literally trying to crack open the mosquito netting on Juan's window, trying to get inside. Juan just stood there staring at him. Then he asked if Rick was seriously trying to break into his house. Rick didn't answer immediately. I don't know if he was shocked that he managed to catch Rick naked in his room, or if he was shocked he was caught mid-break-in. As you can tell from the story, Juan is a very passive person. But at the same time, once he decides to take a stand, he doesn't take no crap from anyone. Juan told Rick very clearly that he was not afraid of kicking Rick's butt if he didn't immediately get the hell away from his house. Rick went into apologetic mode and tried to beg Juan to let him and Susan back in, but again, Juan didn't budge. Susan was outside loading their truck up with all their stuff. I'm not sure, maybe he got his tires fixed. After they had finished loading, she gave the middle finger to Juan and they drove off. I don't know what happened to Susan and Rick after this. I just know they stopped bothering Juan and that they left us with this sweet, sweet tale. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please smash that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.